I do have a cheat sheet somewhere in this office, but it's
And I think the
18.
prison's still open, but the school's closed.
She's right, mine's still downtown. Asking business owners what they think about Leavenworth. Are you ready for your first question?
I'm ready.
All right. This is a trivia question. What year did Leavenworth become the first city in Kansas?
Yeah, wow.
So close. So close. 1854. Local businesses. And can you tell me your name today?
My name is Gerald Myers,
And how long have you lived in Leavenworth?
born and raised.
Wow, we got a local, folks. We got a local. So I'm gonna start off with a little trivia question. Do you know what year Leavenworth became city?
I discovered Leavenworth on March 11, 1978, so I would imagine sometime before then.
Good answer, but do you have the exact year?
1752.
No, did you say 1752?
I absolutely did, and I stand on that.
Why is that, Joe? Why do you think we were found in 1752?
Probably only the first city in Kansas, but the first city in the United States.
All right. Hey there. Thanks for doing this today. What's your name?
Charlie Baldwin.
Hi, Charlie. So, Charlie, I have a trivia question for you. Ready? What year was Leavenworth established as the first city?
1854.
All right. What's your name, sir? Trees. And are you from Leavenworth?
This is 1964.
Lived here since 1964. Can you tell me what year? Trivia question. What year was Leavenworth established? 1865. It's actually 1854. You're close. All right. What's your name, ma'am?
My name is Pearl Gibson.
Well, hi, Pearl. I have a trivia question for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. What year did Leavenworth become a city?
Is it, 1940 something?
1854.
I knew it was 18, I think it was in 18, but I don't count it.
There you go.
Marty Pope.
Hi, Marty. Thanks for doing this today. First off, I have a trivia question. Super easy. You ready? What year did Leavenworth become the first city?
Ooh, 1856.
Which one?
56.
You're so close. 1854.
54.
So, hold on in front of me, and what's your name?
That's great.
Tyson Green. All right, Tyson Green. I have a trivia question for you. Ready? What year did Leavenworth become a city?
54.
1854. Good job. What's today?
Roberta Riddle?
Hey, Roberta. How are you doing today?
Doing great.
All right, I got a trivia question for you. You ready?
I'm ready.
What year did Leavenworth become a city?
1856.
You were so close. 1854. She's 2 years off.
I just knew that was when that building was built down there, so I was thinking it was probably around the same time. So.
You were close. So I'm downtown. So downtown. Hi, I'm down. I'm downtown talking to some business owners, and can you serve me today?
Bill Myers.
Joe, and how long have you lived in them?
Greetings.
Woo-hoo.
That's where they're, this is a, fourth country.
That's awesome.
My name is Laura Bartolino.
Can we laugh? We're so funny. I've got it in front of me, and what's your name? Hang on, Peter, come here.
I'm gonna try to.
Susan, I'll work with you. Oh, I got it. Okay, got it. You ready?
Well, ask the city.
Come on, the most running.
For 50 with,
I'm downtown with the Marymount. Hey, Marymount. What do you like best about Landmarks?
Oh, yes, yes.
You heard it here, folks. Here goes Jonas.
That video was just for fun, so I hope you guys are enjoying your meal. Continue eating, and we will start the program in about 10 minutes. Feel free to get up. We've got our different departments here. We've even got the police department has even brought our robot. So feel free to mingle, mix, and peruse all our different information booths, and we'll start the program about 10-15 minutes. Thank you all for being here.
What's that? It's like, my name is Alexa. And I'll remember every time you tell me the wrong name.
All these years.
You call my right name for some reason. Holly's just thinking it's serious. Now they've got to say, welcome back. So just read that mechanism. Me Mungo? Candy grabbing.
Oh, that. I was in Rom. I go to Rom and moving around. So we couldn't travel. Couldn't put it on a plane. We had blazing saddles. We knew every word they were. German girl was one of my favorites.
Trail riding. That's not a date.
They wouldn't be able to do it. No.
It's the craziest thing to think that so many people know about. All of a sudden you're like, wow, that's what it is. Don't get older.
And that was, we were having a conversation just now. And the conversation was about females who were
Oh yeah, Timbuktu, yeah.
You gotta be about 40 to know who they are.
But nobody works. I'm like, you know.
As long as it's learning.
So then I had to play the songs. And they're like, oh, they hear the song and they go, I was, the other day, I don't know what we were talking about. And everybody looks at me like I'm they always
I feel proud. Who doesn't know the names of Taylor? You know what I'm saying? Like, then when you say something like, oh, were you all night? They should pay you right now. Which helicopter?
Thank you. That's how I know I'm old, because this is all my Oh wow, that place is
Well, Wayne had a birthday twin the same year he was born, but they lost at the time. You know?
Can you point out the singer real quick? The singer? Yeah, just where is he at?
We have 'Cause
That's the one there several
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please stand for the presentation of the colors.
somebody.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. You may be seated. And thank you, Rich Jackson, for that phenomenal singing of the national anthem. Well, good afternoon, everyone. How are you? I want to thank you all for being here today. It is a true honor to stand before you as the mayor of this historic and proud city, and for being here for our very first State of the City address. Yay! Before I dive in, I want to start this event with something very special. I want to start this, as many of you know, Leavenworth is home to many incredible people. And one of our most famous people here in Leavenworth happens to be a Grammy winner, a songwriter, a singer, and an advocate, Melissa Etheridge. So today, Melissa has graciously created a personal video message just for us, just for this moment, just for today. It's a reminder of the powerful connection between the community, roots of Leavenworth, and the pride we all feel for our
Hey, Leavenworth.
So without further ado, please turn your attention to the screen from a message from our very own Melissa Etheridge.
Hey, Leavenworth, this is Melissa Etheridge, and I'm so proud to call this incredible city my hometown. Leavenworth isn't just any city. It's the first city in Kansas, a place built on history, resilience, and community. I want to welcome you to the first ever State of the City. So today, let's celebrate our past, embrace our present, and look ahead to an even brighter future. I remember growing up in the 60s and 70s in Leavenworth. It was a time of change. It was also a time of learning. I received so much support for all of my dreams, so much encouragement from the schools to the neighborhoods to the whole community where I would sing and perform. I'm so grateful for growing up in Leavenworth. Thank you, Leavenworth. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for being an incredible city in the midst of our incredible state and our incredible country. You beautiful people, keep being proud of Leavenworth. Thank you so much.
What a powerful message. I want to thank Melissa for taking time out of her busy schedule to think of her hometown. I know she's on tour right now, and she was able to take time out of her schedule to do that, so I appreciate it. It is a reminder of the spirit, the strength, and the pride that lives right here in Leavenworth. So now I'd like to take a moment to recognize the leadership team that helps guide our city forward every day. Please join me in thanking the members of the Leavenworth City Commission, and I will introduce them now one by one. Let's start with our Mayor Pro Tem, Nancy Bader. Commissioner Jermaine Wilson. Commissioner Ed Ningala. And he couldn't be here today, but our other commissioner is Griff Martin. Their vision, their dedication, and their collaborative leadership have been instrumental in shaping the progress and the momentum we celebrate today. And just as vital as our city's success, the department heads who work tirelessly to keep Leavenworth running smoothly, these individuals have led the teams that deliver the essential needs of every day of the community. So at this point, when I call your name, the department heads, if you would please stand to be recognized. We'll start with our city manager, Scott Peterson. Our assistant city manager, Penny Holler. And so we purposely put our department heads out into the tables, the community, so that hopefully you had very great conversations with them and got to know our department heads. Next up is our police chief, Pat Kitchens. Our fire chief, Gary Birch. Our director of community development, Kim Portilla. The director of parks and recreation, Steve Grant. Everybody's favorite guy, director of public works, Brian Faust. Our city clerk, Sarah Bonensteiner. Very important person, our finance director, Roberta Beyer. And our IT director, Marvin Sommerfeld. Each of you plays an important role in moving Leavenworth forward, so thank you for your service, your leadership, and your continued commitment to excellence. Now that we've heard from Melissa and recognized the people powering our progress, let's turn our focus to the heart of why we're here today, to reflect on where we've been, celebrate where we are, and look ahead to where we're going. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, as many of you know, last year, we launched a nationwide search to find someone who could bring fresh ideas, proven leadership, and strong commitment to the future of Leavenworth when we needed a new city manager. And let me tell you, the search took us far and wide. We literally had people from the East Coast, the West Coast, and the Midwest apply for this position. But it led us right here to today, to someone who quite literally stands out from the crowd. At 6 feet 8 inches tall, our new city manager is definitely hard to miss. But it wasn't his height that actually caught our attention. It was his name. You see, during the interview process, we asked him a simple but important question. If we were to Google you, what would we find? Well, without missing a beat, he laughed and said, well, unfortunately, a murderer. And he wasn't wrong. Turns out sharing a name with one of the most infamous true crime stories in recent history has its challenges. But let me assure you, R. Scott Peterson is only guilty of hard work, great leadership, and bringing new energy to Leavenworth City Hall. He and his wonderful wife and son have moved to Leavenworth and has become part of our community. And he's only been here, 5 months? Oh my gosh, it feels like he's been here for a lifetime. Scott hit the ground running and is doing a fantastic job leading our team with professionalism, creativity, and with heart. We truly couldn't have made a better choice than you, Scott. So please join me in welcoming our new city manager, Mr. Scott Peterson, to deliver our first ever State of the City address.
Thank you, Mayor. The check is in the mail. Whoever's phone that is, I apologize. As Mayor Pittman said, my name is Scott Peterson. Thank you all for coming. I think I've had the pleasure of meeting most of you in the room. For those of you who don't or I have not met, again, I am Scott Peterson, Kansas born and raised. I'm a Kansas boy. I grew up in northeast Johnson County in a little suburb called Fairway. My dad was an attorney by trade, and then he was also the mayor of Fairway for about 12 years. Then he was a Johnson County commissioner for another 12 years. My mom wrote for the Kansas City Star for over 30 years. My older sister lives in Boston, and she is a children's librarian in the East Boston area. So you could say that public service is in my blood, and I was kind of always meant to do this. Again, I want to thank the mayor and city commission for putting this on, but also on a more personal note, I want to thank all of you for this opportunity to allow me to work here. This 5 months, as you said, have flown by, but it also has felt like I've been here since forever. Since I got here, you all have really embraced me. You allowed me to be myself, and you've really supported me, all 5 of you. Even though you guys all have different opinions and different backgrounds, you're unified in your support of me, which I really appreciate, and of staff. Or if you roll your eyes, there is an election in between now and my next performance evaluation, so I gain nothing from saying that. I speak with sincerity. Last night, I was going over my presentation. I was writing up some notes, and I was sitting on the patio of our new home in Leavenworth with my wife and my son. And she asked me what I was doing, what I was working on, what was going on today. I told her, well, I've got to give this big speech, this presentation on the state of the city, kind of like, the president gives the State of the Union. She asked me if I was nervous, and I said, well, no, not really. And she said, so you have to give this big speech in front of all the city's important people, and you're not nervous. That sounds to me like my worst nightmare. All I have to do is talk in front of second graders all day. To which I said, well, that sounds a lot like my worst nightmare. So I guess we're made for each other, and we're doing what we meant to be doing. But really, the reason I'm not nervous is because of all of the staff members who are sitting at your tables right now. They did all of this work, all of it, that I'm about to tell you about. I just get to stand up here, take all the credit, and even though I just got here in November. So before I get started, I do want to sincerely thank the hard work of our city staff over the last year, and I am truly excited for all the great things they are going to do in the coming years. We are so very fortunate here at the City of Leavenworth to have the wealth of knowledge and experience in our senior management that we do. So let me give you, before I get into the presentation, let me talk on that for a minute. I want to take a moment to address that as you look around the room and look at our department that's sitting at your table, in the next 5 years or so, we are going to lose the vast majority of them to retirement. Or other planned attrition. That is an insane amount of institutional knowledge and experience that we're going to lose. And we need to prepare to do so and transition away without a reduction in service. So when people ask me, what is the biggest challenge the City of Leavenworth is facing, that is going to be my answer for the next few years. So now, I want to publicly issue a challenge to all of those department heads in the room that are sitting there thinking, hey, he's talking about me. And that challenge is this. I want you to plan for your departure in such a way that by the time you leave, nobody will notice you're gone. Let me talk about that for a second. It is a true mark of a public servant's success that they leave their organization better than they found it, and in such a way that it continues on without them, without missing a beat. So as a heads up, as I move into this slideshow, this presentation is going to be information dense. That is by design. I want you all to leave this state of the city thinking about how much the city actually does that we often either forget about or that goes unnoticed. It is my hope that you will join us as partners of Leavenworth in spreading the message about how busy our town truly is and how much mileage we get out of every single tax dollar we spend. I also hope that by the end of today, you'll have a greater appreciation about how the commissioners sitting right here at this table really do listen to your concerns, and they ensure that your priorities are the city's priorities. So that ends my scripted part of this speech. I will do my best to stay on the rails for the rest of this presentation. So again, we've already introduced, here's our governing body, our city commissioners here today. So I'm going to start by moving into a financial report, a brief overview of where the city is financially. I'm going to keep my eyes on Roberta over there, and if I'm getting head nods, I'm going to know I'm on the right track. If I'm getting head shakes, I'll know that I'm veering off course. So for starters, here's a quick 2025 budgeted revenue chart of all of our different fund services. The two big ones, is that a laser pointer? The two big ones I want to point out are, we rely on 53% of our revenue in sales tax, and 21% in ad valorem tax, which is what most of you know as property tax. That is quite a discrepancy for a city. Sales tax is highly volatile, as you all have learned, especially as the economy grows and declines. You sometimes don't get the sales tax that you're hoping to get. So before I move into more about sales tax, we do have 7 major funds: general, bond, recreation, countywide sales tax, economic development, city sales tax, and pension. Vast majority of what you would consider the city's business is done in the general fund. That's where most of our employees are paid out of. That's where fire and police are paid out of. That's where a lot of just what you do in the city happens. So Roberta was kind enough to put together a few charts. We're just going to focus on sales tax because of where we stand with it currently. Right as COVID was ending, sales tax looked really good. We were making way above projected revenue. And it looked like the city was going to be in a really good shape. Well, COVID ended, and all of a sudden we stopped getting as much sales tax, and we weren't getting as much as projected. In fact, we had quite a bit of deficit last year in terms of especially local city sales tax collected. So we even conservatively backed that number off this year for 2026 and 2025, and we're already below projections on that. So sales tax, as we've noticed, had kind of during COVID a kind of a, I don't know what you call it, a false bump, where it gave us a false security nationwide that, because of COVID, people are spending more tax dollars, there's more money in their bank accounts, so they can come out and buy more stuff and spend more on sales tax. As COVID ended and the economy changed, people stopped spending as much, stopped buying as much, so sales tax dipped. So that's a serious challenge we have to face because we over-projected for a couple of years, and now we're under budget. So then I'm gonna, in the sake of time, we have the citywide sales tax and the countywide sales tax. City sales tax, everything that you spend in the city. So you buy something, you go down to downtown Leavenworth and you buy something at the shop, you pay a sales tax, that comes to the city. There's also a countywide sales tax. You buy something in the entire county of Leavenworth, the city gets a portion of that, every other city in the county gets a portion of that. In fact, countywide sales tax is doing a little better than the citywide sales tax. Then we have what's called the comp use tax. In some states they call it the Wayfair tax. This is internet sales. It's a tax that's designed to help local businesses compete against internet businesses that may be delivering things from California, New York, wherever, that would not normally have to pay sales tax. You buy something online, you have to pay the sales tax for that. It keeps local businesses competitive. Again, the comp use tax, it's doing okay. Where our biggest concern is local sales tax. So we had a goal setting session here about a month ago, and we talked about budgeting with the city commission. We had all the department heads come in and kind of give a lot of the information you're about to hear soon today. And we had the city commission develop a list of priorities. This was the list of priorities they came up with based on that information. And for our 2026 budget, staff is going to turn around and identify a budget that addresses these priorities so we can be more targeted with the tax dollars that we spend. So those are taking an honest approach to revenue generation in the city. Are we collecting what we need to provide the services you expect in the city? Are we doing so in an equitable manner? Are we overcharging in some areas and undercharging in others? We need to take an honest approach and have an honest conversation about where we are with revenue. We need to evaluate the future of solid waste and wastewater services. We will get to that later today, but needless to say, we hear the complaints, and so we will discuss those shortly. We want to establish priorities for our economic development partners. Again, you'll hear more about this today, but we have economic development partners in the city of Leavenworth that are struggling with the same issues we're struggling with. They have limited budgets, even more limited staff, and we need to be more careful about our combined approach to make sure that we're all moving in the same direction. Look into digitization of citywide offices and services. We are still doing things by paper, and it's 2025, so we need to, the city commission would like us to start doing things digitally, apply online, do everything through a computer. And then also, always, increase communication from the city to the public. As hard as you try to communicate to the public, it's never enough. So we should always be trying to be better. So we're going to start with some of our city hall departments here. Human resources. By the way, Lana Lancer, right here. Raise your hand, please, Lana. I apologize for leaving Lana out. She is our HR director. We should have introduced her earlier. My sincere apologies, Lana. So they currently have 3 full-time employees. Their current focus areas: rising costs of employee benefits. Our insurance is skyrocketing every year, as probably many of you who are business owners are feeling the same. Recruiting and training for their third full-time employee. We just lost Ariane Burgoon, our HR specialist. She's been with the city for a long time, 20 years. So that's a big hole in our staff. Expanding our recruitment outreach, ensuring equity and consistency in our HR policies and procedures. I want to point out the city of Leavenworth is a major employer in the city. I think we did the numbers today. We're somewhere in top 7, top 8 in the city. So we hire a lot of people, and we keep a lot of people employed here in the city. So in 2024, they hired alone 3 people, hired 58 full-time, 2 part-time people, had 30 temporary new hires, managed 6 retirements, and our longest tenured employee, I think, will be celebrating their 40th year here this year. So I'm sure we will have a very welcome celebration for them. Current employee count, we have 235 full-time employees, 104 temporary employees. Those would be seasonal to most of you, lifeguards, things of that nature. And then 9 part-time employees and then 18 open positions. We are hiring, and we need all kinds of skill levels. If you know anyone who's recently left the federal workforce for any reason and they're looking for a job, I'm sure their skill set would be muchly needed here. If you have a high schooler or a college student at home who's not getting ready to graduate and isn't sure what they want to do, I'm sure we can find room for their skill set. Always consider local government, because we're always going to be here. So let's move into our city clerk's office. They have 3 full-time and 1 part-time employee. Last year in 2024, they issued over 1,600 licenses and permits. That includes some business licensing, alarm permits, garage sale permits, and community events. Helped seniors save over $98,900 for the senior rebate program. Moving into some of our operations department. Fire department, we got 53 full-time dedicated firefighters, 24/7 coverage. We focus on training, readiness, and modernized response, and they are focusing on investing into the safety of our firefighters and providing better service to you all. In 2024, they did 800 business inspections, Class 2 insurance services office rating, which is a good number, by the way, and then they're top 7% nationwide in fire protection. They gave you a chart. Call volume is going up, increased by 36% over the last 4 years. That obviously is a huge tax on our employees and on our equipment. So speaking of equipment, we'll talk about a few safety advances that investments the city has put into. We ordered a new fire pumper, which is arriving in late 2025. That is replacing a 22-year-old vehicle. 75-foot aerial truck, replacing a 20-year-old vehicle. So we're not getting rid of new vehicles. We were using our vehicles past their extended life cycle before we replaced them. Protective equipment, we bought 33 new SCBA units. Those are the air packs and masks that guys carry as they walk through the fire. Obviously, these provide critical protection against heat, smoke, and the newest thing that we've seen plaguing our first responders is cancer. So they are exposed to all kinds of toxins throughout their work environment. Police, fire, public works, all of them are exposed to these toxins. And we're only now starting to learn about the dangers these toxins pose to these people. So we are doing our best to keep them safe in the long term. We're building a new fire station 3. It's replacing a 60-year-old fire station. over on 2nd Avenue. That construction has already started. They're hoping to be done by early 2026. We are currently operating out of the other two existing facilities at, I believe, minimal reduction in call time. That project cost was $5 million. Moving on to the police department. They are divided into our patrol division, investigations division, service division, and specialized units. So you can kind of see the list of how we break down our police department there. Won't spend too much time on that. Just giving you an idea of how we are constructed. Crime is back up after it being kind of down in 2022 and 2023. I do not have an answer for you as to why that is. It is mostly nonviolent crime that is up, but we are doing our best to address that and looking for ways to address those concerns in the community. Nonetheless, in 2024, 2,300 citations issued, including 1,900 traffic citations. We had 1,400 arrests. Some people are repeat arrestees, so we did not arrest 1,457 individuals, but that was the number of arrests we did. We went on 1,928 calls. We received 19,000 calls, took 7,000 reports, had 7 bomb unit responses, 88 use of force incidents. That does not necessarily mean a shooting. We define use of force by how things are escalated during a call. That was not necessarily 88 police involved shootings. Created an embedded mental health responder position. That is in direct response to community-driven activists that want to see more out of our police department before things escalate. So this person's entire job is to de-escalate situations. Coffee with a Cop and other community engagements events. Obviously, we want to make sure our police officers are approachable. We want people to know our police force and to be comfortable talking with them. So having these community engagement events really helps out with that. Animal control. So this is under the police department. First of all, did we really pick up 2 goats? Yes, sir. We picked up 2 goats last year. All right. We adopted 356 animals in 2024, 50 more than the previous year, 158 more animals than in 2020. So obviously we are stretched to our capacity as well. We picked up 415, housed 955, including dogs, cats, and I guess goats, and transferred 244 animals. And then we issued a total of 174 animal ordinance violations, and we had 73 bite cases. I want to stop and talk about animal control here for a second. There's a lot going on in our community that we hear about some of our community partners that are struggling to keep their facilities open. People have asked us, can we help? The answer is quite simply no. We are at 100% capacity too. So when we talk about what we're dealing with here, our facility is stretched to the brim with animals as well. So if you know people that are looking to adopt, please send them our way. We have occasional free services where you can adopt an animal for free. We have other benefits that we provide to people that come and adopt animals here at the Leavenworth Animal Shelter. So please consider adopting, not shopping. Let's talk parks and recreation. We have 424 acres of parks, trails, and open space. That is enormous. We have 18 full-time staff to do it. 2 part-time custodians, a part-time admin clerk, and 70 to 80 temporary and seasonal staff. Again, that includes our lifeguards, parks maintenance, things like that. We manage 12 playgrounds, 12 ball fields, 16 soccer fields, 8 pickleball courts, which are new, 3 basketball courts, a skate park, 2 pools, 1 splash pad, 13 pad campground, 77 flower beds, not to mention Haymarket Square, Community Center, Performing Arts Center, and the library. Playground enhancements in 2020, 2021. We did Stubby Park, Cody Park we did 2018, Doherty Park 2021, and we have renovated or built new every restroom in every park except for Woolman since 2013. See, we pause there and talk about parks. So as you can see, we do a lot in Parks and Recreation. And when it comes time for budget, Parks Department is always the easiest target, right? Because they're not fire, they're not police. Other than lifeguards, they don't provide a life service. But look at everything we do. I think this community would notice if those things went away. And we have more additional improvements here. I won't read through all this, but just look at how busy our Parks Department is. And I want you to note that we are focusing now, a lot of this stuff is new. So we're focusing now, switching our budget over to maintenance, keeping these things new. We're trying not to add too many more improvements because we want to keep the ones that we've had new and in good condition. So now's the part where I pause, see if everyone's still awake. I'm going to do my own trivia. Can anybody tell me when the Union Station train depot, the building we're sitting in, was constructed? You can't answer, Tammy. The answer is 1888. This building was constructed. It was refurbished in 1988, 100 years later, to be a community center. Now, here's my next trivia question. Can anybody tell me when the Americans with Disabilities Act was enacted? 74? Anybody else? 1990. So this facility is 102 years old in the Americans with Disabilities Act. And then the refurbishment to be a community center is 2 years older than with the Americans with Disabilities Act. So that has become an enormous challenge, making this facility meet those requirements, which are understandably very necessary. And those challenges and those requirements are changing as we learn more about what people need to make sure that these facilities are accessible. So a lot of work we're going into. Nonetheless, we've done new flooring that you're looking at right now in this room. Fire alarm and security system upgrades. We replaced HVAC units, LED lighting. We just adopted a elevator maintenance plan. So all of those, and we're building new administrative offices. How dare we forget that? Just down the hall there. So our parks department isn't squeezed in like a sardine can into the basement. Now let's talk about, I'm not going to list all these programs and special events, but please read through them. One thing I want to note about all these programs and special events is not individually, but collectively, they pay for themselves. All of these events, not all of these events make money, but the ones that do cover the costs of the others. So when you're talking again about budgeting, and you look at the easy targets of what things we can remove, all of these popular events are self-supporting. Youth sports participation has hit record numbers in the past 2 years. We spent 30 years as a Tree City, USA community. I'll let Steve explain what that is later. 113 trees planted over the past 5 years. So now we're going to move into our Public Works Department, where we get the vast majority of complaints because obviously it's such a public-facing department. In 2025, we are spending $2.1 million on street preservation. That's a 5% annual increase in our street funding. We've adopted the Vision Zero Action Plan. That is the idea of trying to reduce traffic fatalities to zero. Major grant funded projects. We got $400,000 for the 4th Street rehab that we just completed a few months ago right when I got here. The Vilas Corridor, $1.2 million. Downtown ADA intersections, the ramps, $630,000. And the 10th and limit improvements, which are starting soon, $1 million for that. We adopted a new 2-person concrete crew to address some of those issues. Potholes. We hear a lot about potholes. Since January 1 of 2025, and this was as of like a week ago, we had already filled 2,259 potholes. Like I said, I'll take the credit. Well, that's all Public Works. So extrapolating that out, we do over 10,000 potholes a year. So we understand the complaints, we hear them, but we do work on potholes, I promise. Since 2010, we have improved 225 lane miles. That's 61% of our street network. I know that map is hard to read, but we've done quite a bit of mill and overlay surface treatment and reconstruction of our streets. Again, we will put this presentation out on the website so you guys can look at it and get a better idea of those maps. Stormwater management. We adopted our stormwater fee in 2018 to address our ongoing inflow and infiltration costs. With that money, we built a 2-person storm crew that all they do is work on small stormwater issues and cleaning debris from existing structures to help that water flow. In 2025 to 2026, we are doing inlet and piping repairs at 20th and Seneca. We're doing a stone arch replacement at 9th and Osage, pipe replacement at 6th and Spruce. And then we have designs for future upgrades at Doherty Park and Chestnut Colburn. Again, the map is probably not easy to read from your perspective, but that's a lot of work done. Total project costs since 2018, $6.2 million in stormwater repairs. So let's talk solid waste treatment. We hear a lot of complaints about this one too. If you're paying attention to the news recently or followed the Leavenworth Times, you'll know that we just had a study session on the future of solid waste treatment. We are listening to your concerns and we want to make sure that they are addressed. Currently, we provide service to over 9,100 households. We do operate 5 days a week, weather dependent and vehicle dependent. 46 tons of waste, that's 92,000 pounds, are collected every day. Not to mention, we also provide e-waste and recycling, free first Saturdays, and brush disposal site. Pretty good deal. Wastewater. We inspected 219 manholes in 2024. We cleaned 49 miles of sewer lines. 7.75 miles of sewer lines were inspected with cameras. 46 sanitary sewer overflow incidents. That's when our sewer doesn't work the way it should and it overflows. We have to report those by law to Kansas Department of Health and Environment. We had 32 of those on private systems and 14 of them in the city. And we responded to 131 citizen requests. That's 28 of those calls were after normal business hours. So now let's talk both waste and trash. This is the future moving forward. Wastewater, our facility is over 50 years old. We currently did, a few years ago, we did a study to determine what it would take to upkeep the current facility. And the cost was about the same as it would to build a new facility. So this is going to be one of our biggest priorities moving forward in the next 10 years, because in about 10 years, we will be out of compliance with our permit. So planning for the future in our wastewater treatment facility is going to be a huge, huge task, because it's going to be very expensive and it's not going to come right away. Again, we're facing regulatory pressures and aging systems. Right now, we are lucky in that we dump our clean water into the Missouri River. That helps with our permit for the wastewater treatment facility. But in a few years, those requirements are going to increase and we will no longer be in compliance. This year, we are building a new admin building on the existing facility. Whoever built this 50 years ago put the sludge belt press right over our offices. For those of you who don't know, the sludge belt press is what presses the sludge, the water out of the sludge. So in the middle of the summer heat, you can imagine what that would smell like. So we're building a new admin building to get them away from that. And then solid waste. Again, our services are quickly becoming overwhelmed as the city grows. We have 6 vehicles, 5 of them are currently in service, but they have frequent maintenance issues. Those vehicles take a beating. We have to drive our trash all the way to the Shawnee landfill. It's the closest landfill and the most cost effective that we have at the moment. Unfortunately, that landfill is closing in the next couple decades. So we will have to find new access to that. So we are having ongoing discussions, both in private, public partnerships with local trash companies, but also with ourselves on how is the city going to address trash moving forward. Again, we did have a study session on that about a week ago. We did not come to any conclusions. The commission gave us some great guidance and asked for some more information. So we are moving forward. What I want you all to get out of this is we understand the complaints that we hear about trash. Nobody wants to hear it. We take it very seriously, and we are addressing those concerns and finding the best route moving forward. Real quick, we do have a GIS division that many of you probably don't know about, but can take advantage of. We do drone tech, GIS mapping, and ArcGIS upgrades. We have mapping tools for police, fire, planning, public works, and parks that our internal departments can use to help with their future planning and following the projects. We have an interactive web app for permits, pavement, and capital projects. And then they also maintain some of our infrastructure databases. So as we update them and we fix our infrastructure, we know what it was, when it was built, what's in it, all of that. And then their job is to prioritize training and documentation to the city, to our internal staff to support our long-term growth. Moving to community development. How am I doing on time? Good. Okay. Planning, zoning, permits, housing programs, and code enforcement are all under community development. We had 22 planning commission applications last year, 13 historic preservation reviews, and 60 sign and 7 demolition permits. We issued 3,200 code enforcement citations. So those are not mowing your grass, having junk in your yard, things like that. We have a coordinator that manages rental units in the city, which is a unique thing for me in my career. They address 283 tenant concerns. So we have somebody at the city that if you're having problems with your landlord, you can come and talk to us and we will step in on your behalf. CDBG and ESG funds for housing, public service agencies, and infrastructure. That is federal money that we distribute into the community for low-income families. Again, supports the VASH vouchers, housing choice vouchers, and Planners 2 public housing, which most of you know is that large dormitory-looking structure in the middle of the city. That is a city-operated facility that's entirely HUD housing for low-income families. CVB, our tourism group. They wanted us to talk to you about our sign recognition program that's new this year. It's over at Ray Miller Park. It celebrates Leavenworth born or raised individuals and groups that have attained the highest level of achievement. Includes Melissa Etheridge. I believe there's a couple of Medal of Honor recipients there as well. It's a great little path you should go walk. So CVB's focus is tourism, bringing people into the town to visit. We do that by collecting what's called a transient guest tax, TGT as they call it, that is collected by the hotels. So year over year, this is our best news in terms of revenue for the city. Year over year, it grows. We have rising occupancy and RevPAR, which is a tracking, it's revenue per hotel room essentially, that we use to track occupancy. If RevPAR is increasing, that means you're getting increased occupancy, more people are coming and they're willing to spend more money on those hotel rooms, which is good. We've already had interest from at least one new hotel developer looking for a site. We'll probably have more based on the occupancy that we are seeing. Again, higher transient guest tax revenue equals larger marketing, allows us to pay for more digital and social media ads. We're going to be rebranding the city's logos and advertising campaigns moving forward. And then search engine management, content marketing, partnerships, TV video promotion, all of that is paid for through TGT. Economic development. We had some ARPA money from the federal government that we used to provide some programs to 6 local businesses to an amount of $128,000. We have a small business grant. Those of you who are small business owners and have not taken advantage of this grant, please do so. We are always looking for applicants. We gave it to 22 businesses to a total of $150,000. So that is a 50-50 match, which means that it has to be matched at least 50% by private funds. So in the year 2024, that means about $750,000 between public and private partnerships was invested in small-town businesses, in our small businesses. In 2024, we had 2 affordable housing projects, helped paid for by city incentives. We sold several vacant lots, and we're working, as I mentioned earlier, to strengthen our relationships with our economic development partners. Our big 3 economic development partners, other than the CVB, which is a city department, are the Chamber, Leavenworth Lansing Chamber, LCDC, Leavenworth County Development Corporation, and then Main Street. We have started what's called the Economic Development Roundtable, where all 5 of us meet together every month to talk about the issues that we were facing and to provide a coordinated approach to economic development in the city. So I just named 5 departments. That is a combination of 10 staff members among all 5 organizations. So that's what we're talking about. These are not large organizations. We have very limited resources, and we need to do what we can to, have a team effort on that approach. And that's what that Economic Development Roundtable does. So let's talk about looking forward. So we are considering 2 incentives here in the city. None of these have been approved for the record. We are just considering them at the moment. One is Star Bonds. Our very own Senator Jeff Klemp worked to have a legislation adopted that allowed Leavenworth to take advantage of Star Bonds that normally we wouldn't be able to. So we're currently looking at possible redevelopment of the Leavenworth Mall over by Westlake Ace Hardware to see some opportunities there. RHID, which stands for Reinvestment Housing Improvement District, essentially is a TIF on residential property development. You can use that for 2 things. You can use that either for subdivision development, or more attractively, you can use it to invest in already built infrastructure, say in a downtown where you have 2nd and 3rd floor structures that are vacant, and you're looking for residential use out of that, but there are costs associated with that, such as fire suppression, that are generally very cost prohibitive, which I think we will get into later. Working with partners on large transportation projects, including the new Centennial Bridge. The design you will see there is down on the bottom there. And then as well as K5 improvements. The picture on the top there is, of course, our Business and Technology Park, which Penny is actively pursuing to find a tenant. If you know anybody who wants to build an industrial park and wants the land for very cheap, come talk to Penny. How did we do? We're almost done, guys. So, what did you like about the state of the city? Send those to scott.peterson@firstcity.org. What can we do better? Send those to penny.holler@firstcity.org. Just kidding. You can send any comments to both of us. If you, not just about this speech or this presentation, which I certainly hope you will, but also just the general vibe of today. If there's things we could do better, please let us know. Or things you'd like to see next year, let us know as well. So just real quick, I want to give a shout out and a thank you to a few people. I want to thank Joe Wilson here. By the way, raise your hand if I say your name. Joe Wilson, Sorwell Technologies. He helped us with a lot of our IT here today. As you see, he's manning the computer. We really appreciate his assistance. Amanda Pierce, where are you? Amanda with Midwest Horizons Marketing, helped us with all of the videos that you will see today, with the awards and the presentation. Both of these people did this at no cost to the taxpayer, just because they care so much about Leavenworth. So we really appreciate it. our staff internally. Marvin Sommerfeld, where are you? Marvin, Justin Gillen, where are you? Raise your hand. Those are two of our IT people. They also help today. Finally, Tammy Metzger in the corner over there. Tammy helped with a lot of our organization. I also just want to thank again the rest of our staff that helped us put this together. Trevor, our new assistant to the city manager, who started a couple weeks ago, was frantically going around to our department heads getting help. Trevor was frantically going around getting new stuff to finish this presentation from our department heads, taking away from their work, and we really appreciate their patience. That's all I have. Thank you, everybody.
So Scott, I took to the streets of Leavenworth. I don't know if I told you this or not, but I took the streets of Leavenworth lately to do what I call Mayor on the Streets. And so we got a few questions from people on the street. So if you don't mind rolling that footage, Joe. Your question that you've always wanted to know about Leavenworth, that you can get answered. What is that question?
How can we better develop even a small town feel here?
How can we better develop a small town feel? Let's find out.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome.
Down first.
So I'll take that first question. How can we better develop a small town feel? Well, we can help by reinvesting in our downtown, right? A lot of us feel that there are vacancies in our downtown, both in the commercial aspect of it and in the residential portion. A downtown looks more vibrant when people are living in the second and third floor stories. So what we need to do is to find ways to incentivize that. Now, I would note, we do have some of those already that we would like more people to take advantage of. We have the NRA, which is the Neighborhood Revitalization Act. We're constantly looking for applications for that. That our downtown corridor is a redevelopment NRA district. You can take advantage of today. Also, like we mentioned, we're considering the RHID, which may also be a way to redevelop the downtown to provide some housing in second and third floor stories, especially when it comes to things like fire suppression, which is incredibly expensive to put into an existing facility, especially some of those buildings that are like 100 years old. So that, again, then also talk to your commissioners. Tell them that's what you want. Find ways to revitalize our downtown and also to incorporate that small town feel. If you have ideas, we're willing to hear them.
All right, last question. If you could ask city officials anything, what would that be?
Why can't y'all fix these streets, all of these potholes? Always coming apart. Like, what kind of, cement is that on the ground?
All right, what kind of cement do we use? I think it's actually called asphalt, but we'll find out. To fix these potholes.
It depends on the time of year. During the winter time, we use a product called Cold Patch. It's most flexible. We can put it in into really cold temperatures. In the spring, summer, and the fall, we use what's called hot mix, which is hot asphalt. One of the challenges in the winter time is Cold Patch is a temporary patch. So it goes in and temporarily holds it. It's a challenge at times to go back in the summer and replace that with hot mix. So, every city in the area has the same problem we do. What causes potholes? Pretty much freeze-thaw cycles you have here in the Midwest. If you're up north, you get a cold freeze and it stays cold. If you're down south, you might get 1 or 2 degrees a year. Here in Kansas, you get a freeze-thaw cycle about 5 times a week. Water in those cracks and those holes freeze with the stands. And we thaw it. It's a continual, repeatable cycle. So in the Midwest, you have the pothole problems.
Questions in the city of Leavenworth. This is your chance. What would it be? No pothole questions, please. You can ask no pothole.
What is the deal with all the holes that are in the streets?
Oh, we didn't call them potholes. All right, well, let's find that out for you, Joe.
Just answer.
If you could ask the city of Leavenworth any question, anything, what would it be?
Probably when Camp Leavenworth happens, how could we as business owners get more involved and have more of our visitors that come for that event
down to us and get connected with them. Let's find out.
So Camp Leavenworth, I would say if you're a business of Leavenworth, I'm gonna give you two names, Main Street and the Chamber, right? Those are our key community partners, and we last year worked with Main Street to try to launch an app on your phone. So you know what's downtown, we have a directory, you can find restaurants, hey, I need an insurance agent, I need a bank, I need an ATM, it's right there. So I'd say work through your business organizations, or come to us directly, check out the campleavenworth.com website. That's where you can be a food vendor, we need food vendors. If you are a local craft maker, we have a whole section reserved just to highlight your small business and your work. We're looking for fun activities. We do a 360 photo booth you can put on your TikTok or Instagram. That's a local company, right? So have your organization or your business help us bring the fun to Camp Leavenworth.
Anybody in the city, a question, what would that question be? Say it loud.
What else can transportation?
So you hear that? What can we do about transportation?
I'll go ahead and take that question. The simple answer is we already have that in place. It's called Right LB. Now, in order to improve that system, that requires funding. So right now, we don't see the numbers that requires the expansion of that facility. At the same time, the more users we have, the easier it is to develop that and to fund it further. We do think it's a successful program, but at the moment, expansion probably isn't. The tax dollars are probably spent somewhere else. But that infrastructure is in place to expand.
If you could ask the city any question, what would that question be?
Why do we not vote for our mayor?
Then I would vote for you. I did not set that up.
I don't know how to answer this without getting political. The truth is that was a decision based on some political issues that the city was facing at the time. The real answer is if you want to have what's called a strong mayor, which is a mayor that you elect, that's an ordinance change and something that would have to go to the voters. So if that's something that everybody is passionate about, then you would need to start organizing that.
Hear that, Lori? I'm downtown of Maryville. Hey, Maryville, you could ask the city of Leavenworth any question, anything.
What can be done about all the strays in the town?
I don't think I need that, sir. All right. I'll use my police voice. So, what can be done about the strays? So, you saw earlier in the slide, we do quite a bit of work. If there's a dog that's running at large or an animal that's running at large, we try and go get it. We bring it to the facility, we take care of it, and then after a period of time, we make it available for adoption. We'll send it to a rescue, that sort of thing. So, we do quite a bit of work trying to keep the strays down. We do not currently have any ordinances or issues that deal with stray cats. Any measures to do that have been met with quite a bit of opposition. So that's what we do to manage the stray animals in town.
If you could ask Steve any question, sky's the limit. What would you ask the city?
Well, I like the sky's the limit. It seems like it's really hard to get the upstairs of our downtown buildings developed into housing, especially. We love to see it, lots of folks living downtown. And that's kind of tough to figure out as far as the costs and the development of the upstairs.
So how do we develop second story living downtown?
Yes.
Let's find out.
Okay.
So we already kind of discussed how do we get more residences in the downtown, and the answer is it's the reason we don't is because it's cost prohibitive, and because property owners have to be willing to put that kind of investment into those units. Now we've already discussed the city is working to help with some incentives to help those property owners redevelop and put some apartments complexes into those units. So again, we have the Neighborhood Revitalization Act. We're considering the RHID. We have some incentives already in place that would help with things like fire suppression. I would also note that it's about building that relationship with property owners that I think we missed a little bit here in the city. And so we're actively working with the Economic Development Roundtable and our Economic Development partners to reestablish those relationships with downtown property owners and let them know that we want them to succeed. And so we want them to feel like they're welcome and that the city is working with them, not against them. So that's part of one of my big focuses here when we established the Economic Development Roundtable was to rebuild those relationships.
Okay, this is a pet peeve of mine, because I am downtown. I would like to know why we have the owners of these structures should not have businesses in their locations. Let's find out.
So already kind of touched on that, similar answer. Again, we are looking into ways to require property owners to be more involved in that process. We are investigating those. Some of our commissioners have asked us to look into that. I don't have anything concrete to tell you at the moment. What I will say is everything that I just said about redeveloping the upper stories applies to the lower stories. We need to rebuild those relationships with property owners. Business owners need to feel like it's going to be worth their time to put a business in there. So there's something you all can do. You can go shop downtown. That will help.
Hey, Daisy, you can ask us if you want any question. Anything.
Does Leavenworth have a leash law, and if so, what is it?
Yes, Leavenworth has a leash law. If your dog is outside of a confined fence and with you, you are required to have your dog on a leash with you. And so we do have a leash law. That's it.
All right, thank you for answering those questions, department heads. We appreciate you so much. So now, I had a really fun time doing the mayor on the street, and I think we should continue that with my commissioners, making it the commissioners on the street, because that was a really fun time. One of the most rewarding parts of being a mayor is having the chance to recognize everyday heroes in our community. Those who may not seek the spotlight, but who shine all the same through their passion, their kindness, and their consistency. Today, I am incredibly honored to present the Mayor's Award to someone whose joy, dedication, and heart reminds us all of the power of purpose. And today's Mayor's Award goes to Justin Denny. Justin is nonverbal, but if you've ever seen him on a Thursday morning, you know he doesn't need any words to express how much he loves trash day. It's 5:30 in the morning, he gets up, and he's ready to go, no matter the weather, whether it's raining or snowing or the sun is shining. He's excited to greet the sanitation crew and do what he loves most, to help with the trash. Now, I know on social media or on Facebook, our trash crews get a lot of grief. They take the heat a lot. People complain about they missed the bags, they didn't pick up the bags, they didn't come, they like the poly carts, they don't like the poly carts. And I understand that frustration. I believe us, all our commissioners and our city manager do. We get those complaints and we understand them. But today, I want to tell you a different kind of story, a good news story about our trash. One that shows the humanity, the patience, and the heart that goes unseen. Over the years, we've had many different trash crews. They come and go, but somehow every single one of these crews have embraced Justin. They've welcomed him, they've encouraged him, and they've made sure that he has been part of their team. They didn't have to do that, but they did, and they continue to do that week after week, month after month, and year after year. Justin may live for trash day, but it's because of the way the men have treated him, and it's become such a joyful and meaningful part of Justin's life. And for that, I sincerely want to thank them, and two of them are here today. Because in a world that often moves too fast to notice the little things, they've made room for kindness. Before I invite Justin up to receive his Mayor's Award, I'd like to show you a short video that shows what this weekly tradition looks like and what it means and why it means so much to Justin and the crew, but I want you to be part of it. I want to see, so you guys can see what happens on a weekly basis. So if you roll that video.
In a quiet suburb of Leavenworth, Thursdays bring a special kind of magic for young Justin. He eagerly awaits the arrival of Trash Day, his favorite day of the week. Rain or shine, he stands at the edge of his driveway, a beacon of enthusiasm as the garbage trucks rumble down the street. With a bright smile and a signature high five or a fist bump for the city workers, Justin transforms his mundane chore into a celebration of community. What happens every Thursday with Justin?
Justin, what's Thursday? It's trash day. The white truck comes. Yeah, and it's Justin's absolute favorite day of the week.
My name is Robert Gilbert, and I work as a solid waste collector. I've been with the city for 26 years. And Justin, when I first met him, he was probably about 5 or 6. And he used to come out in his little cul-de-sac that he lives at in Tudor. And he used to always want to pick up trash. So when he was that young, when he grabbed his bag, I always lifted him up and put him in and let him throw it in the back of the truck. I let him stand on the step a couple times. And then when he got a little bit older, we used to let him run the truck when we did it as a safely thing. And I always asked him about.
How does it work? What time does he get up to meet the truck?
Well, this morning he was up at 5:30 and got all dressed up and is ready to go help his buddies. And he gets the trash out the night before, and so he's all ready Thursday because he doesn't want to miss it.
So, how did you get started doing trash? Well, you said that Justin loves trash.
He loves trash. He's probably been doing it 7 or 8 years, I'm going to guess, at least. How old are you now, Justin? He's 26 years old, and he's been doing trash for at least 7 or 8 years old, 7 or 8 years, and just loves everything about trash. He loves to help the guys. He loves to gather it. Sometimes he throws away things that shouldn't be thrown away. So he got, him and his nephew, several years ago, got a signed pair of shoes, Game Worn shoes by Devontae Graham, ex-KU star, and had them in his bedroom on display. And all of a sudden one day, they were missing. I'm like, Justin, what happened to the Devontae Graham shoes? What did you do with it, Justin? Yeah, you threw it away. They threw them. So, why did you throw the shoes away? So you'd have trash and something to give to the trash guys.
When me and Justin, when I show up to Justin, I always go like this to him. And Justin always does it back to me. And when he was like, I think he was like 8 years old, he drew this picture in the trash truck with me as a driver and him as a collector on the back.
Trash is a big part of Justin's life, yes.
So, what do you do? What does he do during rain and snow?
Does it matter if it's raining or snowing? No, it doesn't matter. No, he's out here. Hey, the trash guys are out here, he's out here helping.
So, what does it mean to you and your wife that the city helps Justin do the trash?
Well, it's awesome because even though the names and the faces have changed, like today's crew, I don't know if I've ever seen those guys before, but they all are very friendly to him. They let him help gather the trash around the cul-de-sac, and sometimes they let him pull the lever down, and so it's fantastic. We see him out in the community. Justin doesn't ever forget a name or a face, and so he will recognize them and go up and talk to them, and they're always very, very kind and to Justin, and always willing to talk to him.
What's your favorite trash story?
Okay, so our favorite trash stories probably happened 5 or 6 years ago, maybe longer. But one of our neighbors did some arts and stuff, and she had some paints and some thinners, which you're not supposed to put in the trash bin. You're supposed to do that, but she did, and there was maybe some coals or something that they had picked up earlier in the day in there. So the paint or the hot coals, not a good combination. Small explosion in the truck. They had to dump all the trash out in the middle of the cul-de-sac, call the fire department, yeah, right here in the cul-de-sac.
Justin, what did you do? Did you help?
Call the fire department, they had to come put the fire out, and then get a bobcat out and load it all back up. So that was a big day.
Was that exciting for you, Justin?
Yes.
Yes, very exciting.
Very excited, yes.
Wow.
I wish you could actually be a collector. on the back of the truck. Because all the guys that I work with, they said they would take care of you and make sure you never got hurt.
Justin, I just want to know how much the city appreciates you helping out every Thursday. I don't know if we can do it without you.
What do you say, Justin? Thank you.
Every wave and smile exchange becomes a moment of joy, reminding everyone that the simplest days can shine with connection and camaraderie. For Justin, Trash Day isn't about collecting trash. It's about gathering the spirit of friendship that brightens his world.
So Justin, on behalf of the city, I would like to make you an honorary trash man. And we've got a vest for you if you want to come on up, Justin. And if, Pat and Robert, if you want to come up, we've got you a vest. Okay. We've got you some cool glasses. Well, you need the gloves, right, when you're picking up the trash. We got you some gloves. And then we got you one of these really cool safety shirts that the guys have on. So you guys are matching. How about that? But the really cool thing is now we've named a street after you. Justin Denny.
Justin, we all went together and got this way. There's a couple guys from street department that helped us, and mostly it was the traffic check guy that done most of it. Cause he beat me to the punch. I was gonna order one off of Amazon, but he beat me to it. And it's remote control, it dumps on its own and all that.
Thank you so much, Justin. Now, before we wrap up today, I've got one more exciting announcement, something a lot of people ask about. You all know that Camp Leavenworth has become one of our favorite annual traditions, where our community comes together for food, for fun, for activities, for live music, and this year, we are raising the bar. So we made some calls, pulled a few strings, and now I'm thrilled to announce the headliner for Camp Leavenworth is none other than, roll the video, Joe. There's a countdown here. 3, 2, 1. Who's the new headliner? It's the Gin Blossoms! So half of you are super excited, half of you are super excited because they know who Gin Blossoms are. The other half of you are going, who are the Gin Blossoms? Well, the Gin Blossoms are a multi-platinum band behind the iconic 90s hits like Hey Jealousy, Found Out About You, and Follow You Down. And they will be taking the stage right here in Leavenworth. So mark your calendars. So September 26th and 27th. Tell your friends, get ready for an unforgettable night under the stars for Camp Leavenworth. So the people that know they're going to be very excited. So probably from the ages of like 45 to maybe 55 are really, really excited. So before we wrap up today's Save the City, I want to offer a heartfelt thank you to everyone who joined us today. To the residents of Leavenworth, your support, your engagement, and your pride in this community is what drives us forward. We don't mind those calls at all, do we, Commission? We don't mind at all. We appreciate you and welcome.
Well, leave a message.
Yeah, Ed says just leave a message. Oh. To our business owners, and thank you for your continued investment in our community. To our Fort Leavenworth partners, we appreciate you being here today and we appreciate those partnerships. At this time, we're going to open it up for one more chance for the people that are here to kind of stump the chump here. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask, I know the first person's always the hardest, but if you have that question that you always want to ask, now is the time. So we have a few moments that we can do that. So I will open it up to questions. Raise your hand. Oh, there's one in the back.
I know you said right LV is not going to be expanded, but what about put a special tax on businesses or something? Because there's a client need for vehicle transportation and EVs here, that's forward.
A special tax on businesses for Ride LV?
Yeah, or some kind of tax, you know?
So for those of you who didn't ask, he was coming back to that question about Ride LV and why we aren't expanding it at the moment. He asked if we're considering putting a special tax on businesses to expand Ride LV. We have not considered that, sir. It's certainly something we would be happy to discuss.
Any kind of tax, so maybe that at Belmont, whatever, the tax on business.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, well, to short answer your question, we have not considered that, but certainly we're available.
Because there's a definite need for it, because there's a lot of disabled, you know, people that do not have no transportation. A veteran's cab shut down, and Lyft and Uber are very, very expensive.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what the current status is with the prison?
Yeah.
So he asked what the current status is with the prison. I'm assuming you're referring to Core Civic, sir. The current status is I can't comment on that. We have, you know probably what the status is. We filed a suit in the federal court to file an injunction to stop them from opening, to bring them back to the city to go through a special use permit application. What I can say is just to make sure that the message is clear from the city's perspective, this is a land use issue. We are talking about the city's right to govern development in the city. This is not a statement on the current administration. It is not a statement on immigration at all. This is entirely about the city's ability to govern through the special use permit process. Yes, sir.
Is there any consideration about us for rate control, our price cap, our rent, or getting our rates here for apartments?
We have not considered that. One thing you need, sorry, he asked if there was, if we looked into rent control caps for rent in the city. One thing you need to know is that property owners have rights too. The state and the federal government take great care to protect property owners. And also, we live in a capitalist society, so the market drives the price. But what we can do to help with that, sir, and what we're certainly trying to work on in the city is develop more affordable housing. So that way, the people that need to go into housing that they're priced out of the market, we find housing for those people. Yes.
Similar to over here, I know are working towards the rehab or something to help people get off alcohol and drugs in here and be more successful in our city. Are we working on something for that?
So the question was, are we working on a rehab center for drug and substance abuse issues? To my knowledge, I have not heard of, I know publicly we're not considering funding something like that. I have not heard of any private developers. I will say Commissioner Wilson asked me that very question just a week ago, so he's hearing it as well. Certainly, unless Penny, I don't know where Penny walked off. There you are. I don't know if Penny's heard from any developers on that. We do have the guidance center, of course, so you can direct people towards there as well. Yes, sir. So the question was, and the Chief's going to use his police voice, I think, here, but the question was, can we extrapolate further on what crime has risen in the last year?
It was a particularly unique year for us last year. Generally, I can point to something specific that gets my attention. The difficult part this year is I can't. It seems to be spread, throughout the things that we normally deal with are just up. Like you said, misdemeanor crimes, property crimes are up, domestic crime, violent crimes up a little bit. It just kind of spread out all over the place. And so we're still studying it, trying to gather what we're confronting. That's sort of the general answer. There are some positive indications out of last year's data. We didn't have any homicides last year. That's the first time we've had that experience for some time now. So we're studying it constantly, but that's generally the answer. It's just up everywhere with everything. That I would not be able to point to
Questions? Yes? All right, we said we'd get you out of here by 1:30, and we are.
So again, a huge thank you to Midwest Horizons for marketing for their incredible video. Thank you to Sorwell Technologies. I want to also recognize our dedicated staff who helped out for this event. This was kind of a thought that I had and a vision, and they helped bring it to life. So thank you to all the staff. Your hard work and commitment really paid off today. And finally, I would be remiss if I didn't give a very special shout out to my 90-year-old dad, Wayne Shehorn over here. But then I looked around and I saw my mom was hiding in the back, so I should say hello to mom too. Dad, I just wanted to tell you that your support, your wisdom, and your quiet strength has shaped me to who I am as a leader today, and a person. I'm grateful that you're here today. So thank you. So thank you all for coming to this event. Hopefully this becomes an annual event. It was our first ever, so I hope you enjoyed it. Please send your comments to Scott or myself or the other commissioners. We're welcome to hear them. So let's keep working together on building an amazing Leavenworth, and have a great week. And again, thanks for coming. I appreciate you.
Hey, John, what do you think?
I will see you tomorrow, right here.